Yamunatira vanachari, Yamunatira vanachari, Yamunatira vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Congratulations. We are moving through Sri Isopanisad. And we have discussed the Ishavasyan principle. We discussed the mystic triangle, with all the knowledge of all the main principles or tattvas. We discussed how we work. So we surrender to Krishna, but we work. We do not stop activity. So kurvan eveha karmani, mantra 2. And this way we can desire good life. Then 4 and 5 describe who is this Isha, who is this Supreme Personality of Godhead, and what did we learn about this Supreme Personality of Godhead? What did we learn about this Lord? In mantras 4 and 5, in Isopanisad, what does he do or not do? He's everywhere. He's complete. Yes. Yes. He runs and he doesn't run. Faster than thought. He's faster than anybody's thoughts. Yes. Yes. So he's inside, he's outside. He's very far, but he's very near. Okay. So several contradictory, amazing. And what is the purpose of such contradictions, of such contradictory descriptions? The purpose of such contradictory descriptions is to describe the supreme truth, the supreme power, his inconceivable power. Yes, it shows his inconceivable power. Okay, so then we, yes?
What's the meaning of yoga? I thought it was like union, and maybe I was thinking this is the union of these contradictions.
Yeah, union of contradictions. There is one definition of yoga in one of the dictionaries, that yoga means to make the impossible possible. So congratulations, dear yogis. Bhakti yogis. Okay, so we can chant one more time our invocation, auspicious invocation. So, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. So this verse says, oh, yes, this Supreme Lord is perfect and complete, and this world is perfect and complete, and from the perfect come perfect, and he remains perfect. So this is not easy to say. I mean, to say is easy. To think is not easy, that everything is perfect. And then, since this is the Bhagavatam time, we can chant this not Ishavasyam. So Ishavasyam is the Isopanisad. Why Isopanisad is called like this. And in the Bhagavatam 8.1.10, it says Atmavasyam. So it's we can just chant this verse. So we have practically this verse in Canto 8. So Mano is praying this verse for getting association and protection from the Lord Yagya, Lord Sacrifice. So let us chant this verse. Om Ishavasyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena punjidha magrida kasya svidhanam. So everything is owned and controlled by the Supreme Lord, Isha. Everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. So they are all Krishna's, and then we, in Krishna's service, engage everything, offering everything to him, and then things he sets aside, he leaves for our enjoyment, we accept as our quota. Okay, so mantras 6 and 7 speak about systematically seeing Krishna. So 2 verses describe this Lord who walks and doesn't walk, who runs and doesn't run, who is far and who is very close. And these contradictions, these apparent contradictions, prove that he is transcendental, that he is beyond the ordinary logic. He is the Supreme Lord, he is all-powerful. And then mantra 6 and 7 describe the vision of a practitioner. So mantra 6, he who systematically sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord, who sees all living entities as his parts and parcels, and who sees the Supreme Lord within everything, never hates anything or any being. So Prabhupada speaks about 3 levels of vision. So these are the 3 levels of devotees: Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttam. Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttam. And all 3 already have some vision. So Kanishta will see the Lord at least where? In the temple. At least in a temple, in a church, or in a mosque. So at least in some official place, Kanishta will begin seeing. So that's already very good. That's already a big step forward, that Kanishta Adhikari, that Kanishta Bhakta begins seeing the Lord. Of course, the real money, as they say, the real money is in becoming a Madhyam. That we see the Lord not only in the official places of worship, but we can recognize that devotees are very dear to Krishna. So devotees are very dear to Krishna. So if we make friends with devotees, then this is the key to advancement, if we make friends with devotees. And it sounds very good. So making friends with devotees sounds very good. Who doesn't like friends? Everybody likes friends, right? But we also know that for having friends, one vitamin is vital, very important. Which vitamin is very important to have friends? B1, yes. B1, yes. Be a friend yourself. Then, so in other words, it's every relationship is a sort of a sacrifice and requires some tolerance, requires some sacrifice, healthy sacrifice. These descriptions of the Madhyam Adhikari. So again, what are the 4 categories that a Madhyam Adhikari sees? We see 4 categories. A Madhyam Adhikari, Madhyam Bhakta, he can see 4 categories. The atheist or inimical, yes? A devotee, yes? God himself, yes? Recognizes or? Innocent, means ignorant. So those who are neither devotees nor atheists, so in between. So basically, innocent we usually say. Or in Sanskrit, Balisheshu. Balisheshu is childlike, so they don't know. Yes. So to these 4 categories, the Madhyam Adhikari will relate in different ways. So for the Supreme Lord, he will develop love, and he will see the Lord as the object of worship, devotees as the object of friendship, innocent as the object of mercy or compassion. And if somebody is inimical or hater, he will see them as the object of indifference. So there are, it's an option not to cultivate any feeling, and just avoid, as Prabhupada is sometimes translating this word, just avoiding or being indifferent, not hating back, not trying not to hate back. So if one cultivates this, it even according to the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it's universal. These 4 behaviors are in every spiritual path, present in every spiritual path. So in yoga, Patanjali says, if you he defines them slightly differently, but he says by practicing these, you can overcome all the obstacles on your path. So there are different types of obstacles, from inside, from outside, from both inside and outside. So he says, if you do like this, if you see somebody suffering, you feel compassion. If you see somebody happy, you feel happy for them. If you see somebody very impious, very sinful, then you cultivate indifference. You stay indifferent towards them. So try not to hate them. And if you see somebody very pious, then you make friends. So it's very similar to what a Madhyam Adhikari does. He makes friends with devotees. He avoids those who are hateful, and If somebody is ignorant, he cultivates compassion. So the Yoga Sutra says it removes all obstacles. Do you have any obstacles on your path? So this behavior helps us to overcome all the obstacles. Buddhists, they call these 4 Brahma Viharas, spiritual behaviors. So spiritual behaviors which also help us advance. So Srila Prabhupada mentions that as the second stage of advancement. On the second stage of advancement, we are supposed, Prabhupada says in the 4th canto, we should all advance, we should not stay on the neophyte stage, and we should at least reach the second stage of advancement. And Uttama Bhakta, Uttama devotee, the supreme devotee, he can see actually the Lord everywhere. So for him this is very natural. But still, what is very interesting, that this mantra 6 speaks about systematically seeing, anupashyati. Anupashyati means regularly. So we regularly make an effort to remember that everybody is a spirit soul, to remember that everybody is a temple of the Lord. So that's a very famous. Have you heard that we should see everybody as the Lord's temple? And it's a very famous statement, right? In the Bhagavatam, we have it in several places. So this is 6.4.13. Sarvam tadhishnam ikshadvam. See everybody as the temple of the Lord. In the 5th canto, Rishabhadev says, please see, meditate that all the living entities are the temple of the Lord. If you meditate like this, then at every moment you will be worshipping the Supreme. If you see everybody as a temple. So we like to go to the temple. So if we if we develop this vision of everybody as a temple, then in this way we will always be able to have such a holy consciousness. Also Prabhupada translates this anupashyati, anu as meaning we follow in the footsteps of the previous teachers, previous acharyas. So yesterday we already started doing this, so maybe we can continue with this exercise today, as is recommended in Isopanisad, systematically seeing. So let us look at all the devotees present here, and let us meditate, systematically meditate, that the Lord is in the heart of every person here. So let's look at everyone and think, this is Krishna's temple, this is Krishna's temple, she is Krishna's temple, she is Krishna's temple, this is Krishna's temple, this is Krishna's temple, Krishna's temple, Krishna's temple. Yes, Krishna is in the heart, Krishna is in the heart, yes, Krishna is in the heart. So let's look at everybody and meditate. Yes. So what do you feel when you do this? Smiling, everybody's smiling, yeah? So it's respect, yes. Grateful, yes. Huh? Relief, yeah. Oh, Krishna is here. Yes. Doesn't mean that everybody is Krishna, of course, you all know this. This is, by the way, this is the topic of the essay for Sri Isopanisad. So, who will write the exam, who will need a certificate, who wants to get the Bhakti Sastri diploma, then we need a short essay also on Isopanisad, the arguments from Isopanisad about personal philosophy, the Isopanishad's arguments against Mayavad. So Mayavad is the philosophy that everybody is God, everybody is just equal. So what arguments, and the God is impersonal. So what arguments against Mayavad does Isopanishad offer? Isopanishad arguments against Mayavad, the Mayavad philosophy. Mayavada philosophy is that God is Maya and everybody is God. It's a strange philosophy, actually. If you try to express it, it's like everybody is God except God, right? Something like this, or that God is everywhere but not in the temple. So it's a little strange if you put it to the. Like, so of course, Isopanisad is very personal. Some questions here? Yes? Mm-hmm. Yes. What is the difference? Because Mayavadis and Brahmavadis, we sometimes call some impersonalists Brahmavadis. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes 4 kinds of impersonalists and their different destinations in his commentaries in the Bhagavad Gita. So we usually call the good impersonalists, we call them Brahmavadis sometimes. So why do we call Mayavadis Mayavadis? Basically, the worst part, the most offensive part, is not to say that everybody is God. This is okay. This even we have in many places. It's not to say that everybody is divine, or this is it's no problem. The offensive part is to say that God is Maya, that Krishna's personality, Krishna's form is Maya. So this is offensive. It's like cutting God in pieces. So that's why we call them Mayavadis, because they say Krishna is Maya. So that's the offensive part. So they try to deny the existence of Krishna. So if somebody wants to even merge with God, that's very unfortunate. But as long as they do not deny that Krishna is a person and has a form, then okay, that's not an intelligent choice. Better to engage, better to go and eat sandesh with Krishna, right? Like Gop Kumar in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, he goes through all the planets, and then he goes through the spiritual planets, and then he goes through Ayodhya, and then he comes finally to Vrindavan, and then he meets Krishna and Balaram, and Krishna invites him home, and then at home Radharani makes some very special Manohar Laddu, and they sit together in Yashoda's home, and then Krishna takes this sweet cooked by Radharani, and she's looking at from the kitchen, she's trying to see how he's eating, and he's taking this sweet, and he bites it, and he makes a face. And she's mortified. She thinks, what happened? Maybe I put salt instead of sugar. Maybe, what did I do? And he takes this sweet and he puts it on Gop Kumar's plate. And Gop Kumar is taking, and he's biting, and this is just divine. He's incredible. He understands this was Krishna's joke. So that was just a joke by Krishna. So Krishna made this joke just to put this sweet on his plate. So many exchanges are there in the spiritual world. That's the best. When Gop Kumar comes to Vaikuntha, Narayan says, "Oh Gop Kumar, I'm so happy to see you. Finally you are here. So many lives I was waiting. If you do something good, if you do some Vedic ritual, if you do something pious, I will use it to bring you back. But you never did anything. So finally, this life, I made sure that you took birth near Govardhan. And then you met devotees, and then I came to you as your Guru Jayanta, and so finally you're here. Thank you so much." So in such a nice way he's greeting Gop Kumar. And for all the time he dresses as Krishna. So this Vishnu in Vaikuntha, he takes the flute, he dresses as a cowherd boy just to make Gop Kumar happy. And then when Gop Kumar goes to Ayodhya, Ramaloka, he's already trained to be very respectful, and he folds his hands, and Ramachandra says, "Gop Kumar, what's wrong with you? We are friends. Just come, sit next to me." So he's very friendly. And then when he comes to Krishna Loka, then Krishna just embraces him and faints. And all the gopis, they look, what is this? Maybe some demon again attacked our Krishna. But Balaram says, no, this is Gop Kumar. This is a devotee, and Krishna is so happy that he's back, that Gop Kumar is back. So this looks like more interesting destination, to have personal exchanges with Krishna. And Krishna is simultaneously very sweet and simultaneously all-powerful. So he can reconcile, he can harmonize these contradictions. Okay, so Who will write the essay for the? Okay, you will write. Okay, okay, okay. So you can give it to me on paper. You can send it to me. If you can send it to me by Monday morning, would be nice. Then we can mark and then give you the certificates. So, Isopanisad arguments against Mayavad. In the Om Purnamada Purnam verse, we have some arguments that if Krishna didn't have a form or personality, he would be less than us, than his creation. Then Satchidananda Vigraha, he would be incomplete. Being complete, he has also a form and all the other aspects. So these are some arguments there. Then Prabhupada says he's walking and not walking, and other personal descriptions are there. Isha is the Supreme Lord, that's also personal, and some other will be also, some more arguments will be there. Okay, then in this verse, mantra 6, in the purport, we hear Prabhupada saying, such a devotee, very elevated devotee, does not discriminate between an atheist and a theist, but sees everyone as part and parcel of God. So he knows that everybody is a divine spark. Yes. Then near the end of this paragraph he says, not considering the respective actions of the Brahmana and the dog, the Uttamadhikari, this highest devotee, tries to do good to both. Tries to do good to both. Such a learned devotee is not misled by material bodies, but is attracted by the spiritual spark within them. Some devotees are very inspired as soon as they see some animal. I know everywhere, every time we walk somewhere with Saki, she sees some quail crawling on the ground. She says, Haribol, Haribol! Or she sees the cow, she says, Hari, Hari, Goranga, Goranga. Or she sees some deer in the forest, she tries to give them the holy name, which is very good. Of course, it's probably sometimes more difficult to make a human inspired to chant the holy names. So trying to do good to everybody, whether an animal or a human or anybody, we're trying to give them some spiritual benefit. Now, what is the difference between actually seeing and artificially seeing? Those who imitate an Uttamadhikari by flaunting a sense of oneness. Flaunting means like being very proud, like proudly demonstrating. Flaunting a sense of oneness or fellowship, but who behave on the bodily platform are actually false philanthropists. The conception of universal brotherhood must be learned from an Uttamadhikari and not from a foolish person who does not properly understand the individual soul or the Supreme Lord's supersoul expansion who dwells everywhere. Jai Shri Nrsimhadev Ki Jai. So what is the imitation of this Uttama Adhikari vision? So what is the proper vision of oneness and what is the imitation vision of oneness? What would be imitative? Tejas, you have some answer? Too late, now you have to say something.
I think the proper is like when really someone is like seeing someone like that in everyone is Krishna and that everyone comes from Krishna, and when someone is chastising someone, that Krishna then is chastising someone, and when someone is like saying that someone makes something good, then also that it's come from Krishna, and imitating is like that someone is doing like, yeah, everyone is Krishna, and then when he gets chastised, that he's like then angry or something, and then seeing really Krishna in it.
Okay, that's a good one, yeah. Getting angry. Okay. What else can we describe as the imitative? What's the difference between imitation and true vision of oneness or spirit?
Might be completely speculation, but it can be show off, like saying something
pride.
else.
Yeah, show off.
But thinking something else.
Okay, yes. So one is for
Duplicity.
show. Okay, to just get some praise. Okay. Then at the same time here, we see the recommendation. We want to develop this spiritual vision. We try to practice, systematically see. So we try to systematically see that everybody is spirit. So is this safe? Is this okay to see everybody as spirit? As Krishna's temples, as particles of Krishna, as sparks of Krishna? So how is it different from some false yogi, or how to say, not some Mayavadi imitating such a vision? Yes, we have to follow
the rules. It's not like...
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So we follow the rules that Krishna is giving and that Srila Prabhupada is giving us, yes?
Yeah, not like being some avadutas, I don't know how to say it.
This is like this story from Shankaracharya, how Shankaracharya was walking through a village and somebody brought him some sweets and he started eating these sweets, and his disciples were very happy. Oh, we can take sweets. They took these sweets, started eating. So then he saw that they imitate him, so he went to the blacksmith workshop. You call this smith. And there was molten iron. So he took some of this molten iron and drank this molten iron. And then he said, okay, do you want to drink this also? So something that very powerful saint can digest, we sometimes cannot do the same thing. We cannot digest it, right? So not imitating. How does Prabhupada teach us to see oneness, spiritual oneness of all the living entities? What is Prabhupada's approach? Janitai?
Like you said before, it's like a part and parcel, and a servant of the Supreme.
And practically, what's the ISKCON way of seeing oneness, or practicing?
Seeing everybody as a devotee?
As a devotee, and then what do we do? Kirtan, yes. So we go on the street.
Serve the Lord.
we go on the street and sing for everybody, and we distribute books for everybody. We offer books to everybody, right? So everybody can. Every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future, as they say, right? So that's how we see oneness. So we sing for everybody, and we offer books to everybody, so that everybody can advance. So that's the best way to see oneness. Yes? Okay. So Prabhupada emphasizes here following the disciplic succession, the parampara. So we follow the authorized teachers in how we read the Srimad Bhagavatam or Vedanta Sutra or all the other books, including Sri Isopanisad. So at the end, Prabhupada gives the answer to our question. One who imitates the symptoms of an Uttamadhikari may serve another's outward body for the purpose of fame or material reward, but he does not serve the spirit soul. He does not serve the spirit soul. Such an imitator can have no information of the spiritual world. The Uttamadhikari sees the spirit soul within the material body and serves him as spirit. Thus, the material aspect is automatically served. Material aspect is automatically served. Like a few months ago when how many? 7 million Ukrainians were rushing out of Ukraine, from running away from the Russian bombs and Russian rockets. Devotees, so most were going through Lviv in West Ukraine. So devotees were serving, were distributing thousands and thousands of plates and plates of prasadam in the train station and near the border. So that was, for us, this is part of our spiritual service. So we serve prasadam. This is Food for Life, our Food for Life, normal Food for Life program. And for us, this is a way to, help people hear about Krishna. So for us, this is part of our spiritual program. But for people, they also get food, and automatically people hear about Krishna. Even we had some video circulating when even Angelina Jolie came to Lviv, and she took prasadam and she said, "Oh yeah, I heard about Hare Krishna." Yes, and some devotee trying to make her chant Hare Krishna, the full Hare Krishna mantra. So somebody was filming it, and this video went around. So by devotees trying to follow our normal program of prasadam distribution, which is just classic temple program everywhere. It is not Prabhupada's invention. Like, for example, in Udupi, who was to Udupi? Who has visited Udupi Krishna? Okay, not many. So we were traveling with Patri there, and we had been traveling for a long time. So when you travel a lot, if you miss hot food. After some time, you want to have not just some dry something, cold and dry. You want something hot. So in Udupi, in the temple, they distribute every day. They distribute. They feed like 20,000 people with hot rice, 3 varieties of rice and 3 or 4 varieties of sambar and rasam. These different types of dal. And so it was very nice. We were so happy that we could get some hot food. So that's part of their temple service. So people are visiting the temple. So they have 8 mats rotating through 16 years. Every mat has 2 years to serve the main deity. So 14 years, for 14 years they collect money, grains, rice, wood, everything. And then 2 years they serve. So every day they serve. When we were there, it was 20,000. Now it could be, I don't know how many, 40,000, 50,000. I don't know how many meals they serve. So they serve en masse. They serve very massively. So that's a temple program. It's a natural temple program, greeting guests and serving pilgrims. That's a classic program for devotees. So when we do this also in other places, we feed the soul. We actually feed people who are sometimes are in real need. So some of those people running away from East Ukraine, they spend horrible nights in trains, packed trains, just standing room only, because just the last train rushing from Kharkiv from the east under the bombs. Some actually came under the bombs, and some people actually suffered. Some people were some of those railway people. They were like heroes there, operating these trains under such conditions. So for them, it was a real need to get some food. Even Parashuram went there all the way from London to join this, because he is distributing food in London since, 40 years. But in London, it's good, but he doesn't feel that this is so much needed. But here he comes, and this is really needed. Bombs are flying, and people are really suffering. So when he's bringing 10 tons of rice to such conditions, he feels, I'm really doing something. So when we even carry out our temple programs, when we do what is normal for a temple program as part of the service to the soul, then the body, the spirit soul within the material body is served automatically. So of course here in Simhachalam also so much help has been offered. So that's the difference. That a devotee serves primarily as spirit souls, whereas somebody else may see just outwardly, may see only the external body, only the external box. Any questions, any comments here? Yes, bro. Udupi. That's Madhva Sampradaya, the seat of our, how to say, Madhva Sampradaya, Madhvacharya. It's South India, Karnataka. So I mean, not too far, not so much south. It's like, if this is India, this is here. Okay. If you go down from Bombay, maybe how many kilometers down? 500, 300 kilometers down. Yeah, nearby. It's actually not so far. Yeah, it's closer there. Okay, so this was mantra 6, seeing everybody as seeing everybody in Krishna and Krishna in everybody, and then tato navijugupsate. Then you are free from hatred. One doesn't hate. Free from hatred, free from fear. Also, free from fear. This is one of the translations or comments. Navijugupsate. You do not fear. You don't feel fear. And mantra 7 again is very similar. So Upanishads often, and Isopanisad in particular, will often repeat one point 2 times with slightly different accent. It's like music. You know, everything is repeated. A good melody may be repeated more than once with a slight variation. So mantra 7. Let us chant mantra 7. Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva bodhvijanata tatra ko mohah kashoka ekatvam anupashyataha. One who always sees all living entities as spiritual sparks, in quality one with the Lord, becomes a true knower of things. What then can be illusion or anxiety for him? Hare Krishna. So the previous was describing freedom from hatred, and this is describing the freedom from illusion and anxiety. Shoka and moha. So shoka also means lamentation. Lamentation or grief, sadness, shoka. And moha is illusion. So there is one comment about these three aspects, shoka, moha, and bhaya. That sadness, illusion, and fear refer to the 3 aspects of time. Usually we are afraid of the future, we are sad about the past, and we are in illusion about the present. Right? So therefore, this shoka, moha, bhaya may refer to the influence of time. So being afraid of the future, sad about the past, and illusion about the present. So if you see everything in Krishna and Krishna in everything, then you become actually relieved of these 3 influences of time. That the time in 3 phases cannot defeat you, cannot put you under these negative influences. This is a common trio, shoka, moha, bhaya. It's described in the Bhagavatam as Bhagavatam makes you free from these effects, shoka, moha, bhaya. Right? So shoka is sadness, here translated as anxiety. Moha is illusion. So sadness, illusion, and fear. So fear usually is the future, about the future. We are afraid of the future, yes? Illusion is about the present. We do not see clearly. And sad, usually what are we sad about? About something that already happened, something in the past. So by seeing everything in Krishna in everything, you can become free from such influences. Okay. All right. So it speaks about oneness here. So therefore, some people may think that, okay, see, everything is just one, but Prabhupada gives 3 explanations of what does it mean to be one. So like a drop in the ocean, a spark in the fire, or people in the family with one interest, united in one interest. So this is the oneness. This is the oneness that is meant here. Not that everything is completely one, but that we are like, we are part of Krishna's family portrait. This is also where this place where Prabhupada says that we are supposed to join Krishna's rasa dance. So rasa dance, that's later. For now, how about joining in the kirtan dance? Let's all stand up and raise our arms high and say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. And let's raise our arms still. Inhale deeply and say, Gauranga! Very timid. Very timid. Turn off? Huh? Just move it away so that the live stream doesn't. Okay, so again, what are the 3 types of oneness that Prabhupada mentions here? So one is we have so this is oneness. The proper understanding of oneness. So one is the drop. That's a drop, okay, of an ocean, also with the same quality of being salty as the whole ocean. That's one example. Another example is the fire, and you are a spark. And we are trying to rejoin the fire. And one more is a family portrait. Anyway, this is a family. You're also somewhere there. Prabhupada says, so we are one in interest. So like one family has one interest, so we are trying to remember this one interest. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, except for the Madhyamadhikari and Uttamadhikari discussed above, no one can correctly see the spiritual position of a living being. So we are qualitatively one with the Supreme Lord, just as the sparks of a fire are qualitatively one with the fire. Yet sparks are not fire as far as quantity is concerned. So in quantity, in terms of the amount of our power, we are certainly never equal to the Supreme. So the Mahabhagava, the great devotee, sees oneness in the sense that he sees everything as the energy of the Supreme Lord. And then another example is to use another example, the quantity of salt present in a drop is never comparable to the quantity of salt present in the complete ocean. Of course, I hope you do not take offense that we call you salty drops. Maybe we can give another example. Maybe you are sweet drops. Maybe a part of the some sweet shrikant. But the thing is that we have the same taste, but maybe the amount will be different. And the third example, in a broader sense, there is one interest, just as in a family the interest of all members is one. Or in a nation, the national interest is one, although there are many different individual citizens. And now hear this. The spiritual entities are meant for enjoyment, as stated in the Vedanta Sutra 1.1.12, Ananda Mayo Bhyasat. By nature and constitution, every living being, including the Supreme Lord and each of his parts and parcels, is meant for eternal enjoyment. Did you hear this? You are all meant for eternal enjoyment. Congratulations. Finally something happy about not just temporary, but eternal enjoyment. The living beings who are engaged in the material tabernacle are constantly seeking enjoyment, but they are seeking it on the wrong platform. So we are seeking this in the material qualities. Here, in the material world, there is always a clash between different individual beings because here the proper center of enjoyment is missed. The real center of enjoyment is the Supreme Lord, who is the center of the sublime and spiritual rasa dance. We are all meant to join him and enjoy life with one transcendental interest and without any clash. So when we find the same center, if we center around Krishna in his spiritual rasa dance, sublime and spiritual rasa dance, then there will be no clash, and then this is the solution to all the problems of enjoyment. So we are supposed to join the absolute family of the Parabrahman, the Supreme Spirit. So, dear brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers, sons and daughters, we are part of one family of Parabrahman. Yes. Achyuta Gotra. Now, do devotees never quarrel? So theoretically, if we just say Hare Krishna and accept that, okay, there is one center, Krishna, then we are supposed to be suddenly free from all conflict, right? Sounds like a very good solution, no? And then, how is it that as devotees, even centered around Krishna, we still may sometimes have disagreements? Uh-huh. The goal is one. Uh-huh. Yeah, so the principle is one, details may differ, okay? Yes?
Struggle?
Fight.
Okay.
So, why do we... Yes. We remain individuals, yes. So, there is a letter by Srila Prabhupada who says, do not expect some utopia, because there will, as we are individuals, there will also be differences. Just actually recently I heard there was a study about some conflicts or quarrels in the families. There was one psychologist, was it Gottman? I forgot I think Gottman was his name, who was studying family couples quarreling. He found 4 styles of quarreling, and he got the couples come to his studio, and he had them ask them to find something they usually quarrel, they disagree about, and he asked them to discuss it. So they would start quarreling with him, right, in front of him. So so this guy, he was studying he found 4 kinds of quarreling. One is avoidant, somebody like people who like to avoid any quarrel. One is volatile, who quarrel very easily about everything. One was productive, they were trying to sort out and find some common solution. And the 4th one was hostile, they were attacking each other. They were trying to accuse each other of everything. And it turned out that in this study, it lasted 4 years, that after 4 years, all the couples remained together, except the hostile one. So oftentimes, apparently, there are some productive conflicts or quarrels. Some quarrels can be productive if they lead to expressing the differences and trying to find some common solutions, understanding each other. So this type of quarrels, even though many of us hate any kind of quarrels, so volatile, they love quarrels, and avoidant, they hate quarrels. Some people, they look for quarrels, and some people, they really try to run away from any quarrel. They really hate. It's very painful for them to have any quarrel. Any quarrel for them is a sign of total catastrophe. But all these 3 were still able to continue living together very nicely, except those who were actually attacking each other. So quarrel or fight, it does not always mean that this is very bad. It can mean that we are trying to understand each other. As long as we have the same purpose of serving Krishna, serving Srila Prabhupada, if you remember that we have one purpose to unite around, so as Prabhupada was saying, unity in diversity. If we have this, then okay, it's still good. We are different. We can find different roles for different people, and with our different moods, we can engage in different tasks, and that's okay. Maybe a little painful for those of us who are avoidant, this avoidant type, people who really, for whom it's very painful if there is any quarrel. Unless fortunately we are all spirit souls, so we can change. We are dynamic. We are never set. We are not fixed in our qualities. We can learn. That's the beauty, that all of us as spirit souls, we can learn. We can adapt. We can grow. That's the difference between this spiritual approach and material approach. We understand that as spirit souls, we are dynamic. Spirit is dynamic. Any comments? Anybody wants to quarrel?
I have actually a question to the topic before, where you said like somebody is faking the Uttamati stage.
Yes.
Yeah. Wasn't there an occurrence where there was somebody doing that and Prabhupada said beat him? And
yes, there was somebody sometime once devotees came to Srila Prabhupada saying, "Oh, there is one guest in the kirtan who came to the kirtan and then he threw himself to the floor in ecstasy. What do we do?" It was very early days. I haven't seen this actually. I mean, I lived in Vrindavan for 20 years. I don't remember. I don't know. Maybe once there was. Usually, people. It doesn't seem that people do this anymore. Huh? Yes. I mean, they dance in ecstasy, and you can see this is real ecstasy. I mean, real joy, especially now. Oh, now yesterday my friend called me from Vrindavan. He said, "Oh, this is Shravan Maas. Thousands of people came to Vrindavan. You can see from all the villages. You can see like 100 people. The whole village is coming. In front there is one elderly man. With dhoti like this. With this and they walking. With a big bundle of something on his head, and behind him 100 people also with bundles. They come, and you can see these women with black skin from the field because they are spending all their time in the field, so under the sun, smoking very strong cigarettes somewhere in the back. And but they come to Vrindavan because this is Krishna Janmashtami time. So all around Vrindavan you have the theater, Leelas, performances to remember Krishna and to celebrate Krishna Leela. And so they dress their best saris, and she puts on this golden sari, silk sari with beautiful, beautiful everything, and she comes to the temple, she unties one coin and she throws for Krishna this coin, and then she hears Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, and she cannot control herself. No, this is for Krishna. And she starts dancing. Sometimes they cover their faces, sometimes they just dance, and you can see this is completely spontaneous. It's not that they imitate or they try to show off or anything. They very sincerely, they really like Krishna, and so when they hear Krishna's names, they cannot control themselves. They start dancing. But in that case, yes, there was somebody coming and imitating some very high ecstasy. So Prabhupada said, "Okay, you go and kick him." I said, "How can you kick him? Maybe he's an exalted devotee." Yeah, Prabhupada somehow apparently understood the mentality behind it. So he said, if he's an exalted devotee, then he will not feel anything, and if he's not, then there is no harm. So they actually did it. So they went and kicked this person. So this person just got up and he went away. He didn't get the honor he expected. Anyway, so somehow it became popular to show such ecstasies to get honor. I don't think it's being done anymore. Prabhupada somehow. Yes. No, we can. For us, main thing, we should not imitate. How do I know if I imitate or not? So I think that just he's basically gave the same recipe. When I am kicked, do I get angry? And I will get kicked anyway, not physically, but subtly I will feel, oh, he kicked me, she kicked me, he disrespected me, right? So then inside I can see, do I seek this as Krishna's hand or not? Right? Okay, so this was division of oneness as systematically practiced by devotees, and seeing everybody as Krishna's spark, seeing everybody as a servant, at least a potential servant of Krishna. And then we will have mantra 8 describing Krishna. Then we have 2 triplets about cultivating knowledge and cultivating ignorance and the necessity for balance. So we have 2 triplets. First about knowledge, then about absolute. Then we have prayers, so mantras 15 and 16, 2 prayers asking Krishna to remove the temptations, to show his face. Also mantra 15 is so mukham, show your face. Very, very clear also, one of the strong arguments about Krishna being a person. That Krishna is a person. And then 2 more prayers asking Krishna for guidance, asking Krishna to guide us. So we have tonight, we have Saturday morning, right? Then Sunday we will have 2 sessions, right? And then Monday, maybe we can even do either Monday evening or maybe Tuesday we can do the short test. The questions I have put at tiny.cc Isoprep, I think it's called, right? If you want to prepare for the tests. Tiny.cc Isoprep. I think I put 3 languages there that I had. English, German, Ukrainian. Somebody was, I think Madhava was coming to write the exam. So you can read and prepare. You can write the essay about Isopanisad arguments against Mayavad. And maybe we can just begin mantra 8 so you can have some preview of the upcoming attractions. Krishna's qualities. Saparyagatchu kramakayam avranam asnaviram sudama papa vidham kavir manishi paribhusvayambur yata tatyatorthan vyadat chasvatibhya samabhyam. Such a person must factually know the greatest of all, the personality of Godhead, who is unembodied, omniscient, beyond reproach, without veins, pure and uncontaminated, the self-sufficient philosopher, who has been fulfilling everyone's desire since time immemorial. So also this is a very clear personal description of a person. So a person who fulfills everybody's desires since time immemorial. So the one person who fulfills desires of everyone. Hare Krishna. Okay, so some last questions, comments, points. So this is the meditation on everybody as Krishna's spark. This is the meditation on everybody as Krishna's temple. Now you can see, does it help you to cure sadness, illusion, and fear or hatred? So try to see if you have, if you can use this meditation as a cure, as a medicine for such undesirable or negative emotions. Yeah? So it says here, if you meditate like this, then what can create an illusion for you and what can create sadness for you? If you meditate on everything being part of Krishna, being part of Krishna's plan, being part of Krishna's interaction with you. And what else did we have? We try to surrender to Krishna. We offer everything to Krishna and take everything as Krishna's, as a quota given by Krishna. And we'll continue tonight after the Gora Arati, so around 7, shortly before 7. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnava.